Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Welcome, everyone, to Kindy Rockstars. Joining me all the way from Australia is Lee and V of Tiptoe Giants. So, got to tell you, I love the name. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves, about the band and the inspiration for the band name, and how you got into Kindy music.
Well, g'day from Australia. Thanks for having us. We are Tiptoe Giants. We are a three-part band based in Sydney. We are sisters and friends. So Meg and I'm Lee, by the way. Meg and I are sisters, and V and Meg met at the Conservatorium of Music, studying their respective courses, and became best friends. And together we became Tiptoe Giants very organically. I started writing songs for my own children, and Meg started arranging them beautifully and developing them. We brought in V, who is a registered music therapist, and together we kept evolving our songs, writing new songs, and that's how Tiptoe Giants started.
Yeah.
All right. So V, you want to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm V. Thanks for having us on here with you, Patrick. So a little bit about me. I guess music started for me when I was about 4 years old. I started to play the flute. That was my first instrument. And I played that all the way through to high school and then university, where I studied classical flute. I then went on to perform quite a bit and go overseas. I was playing with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, and then I was really interested in how music could help people, because I'd had first-hand experience of this. I love listening to music to help myself when when I go for a run and need to be stimulated, or when I need help getting to sleep. So I knew that music could help in these ways. So I was really interested in exploring that more. So I went on to study music therapy and become a registered music therapist, where I started working in children's hospitals in Australia and also in India, where I was working a bit with children, and doing songwriting with kids, music to reduce anxiety before procedures. And yeah, just fell in love with writing music with and for kids. And then kind of at that time, Meg proposed that I join this group with her sister Lee. And it happened so organically. And so it was just perfect timing for all of us. And that was now, how many years ago? Five years ago? Yeah. So that's
Awesome.
how it kind of all came together, and what I did before Tiptoe Giants and what I still do now, I guess. Yeah.
And we each bring a really unique set of skills to the table. It's lovely because, we are a lot stronger together than we are on our own. Meg's trained in clarinet and piano and drums, and she's a professional percussionist, and she teaches direct school band programs in a range of schools across Sydney. So that's her background. I'm trained in piano, oboe, and flute, and I have a very strong dance background. So I dance professionally, and I ran dance schools. And I'm a professional writer. So together we really can play off each other's strengths, and it's a great balance.
Awesome. So how did you come up with the name Tiptoe Giants?
Um, oh my gosh, we had so many names. If I wish we had written them down, some of them, because it took a while to come up with one. Um,
V loved um, the sound, the onomatopoeia feel of the word tiptoe. So we started off that, and then we loved the idea of the contrast between tiptoe and giant.
Hmm.
And the message, it's really in line with our mission statement, and that is to inspire children to think, feel, and grow as individuals and within communities, and to see, feel, and really engage with the little giant within themselves. So it doesn't matter how small you are, but you've got a big giant and lots of strength inside. So we love Tiptoe Giants for that reason.
yeah.
And it's just a cool name.
It is a cool name. I like it. So V, when you were in India, now was this after the band had formed or was this before?
This was before, this was for my final clinical before I became a registered music therapist. So I went over there with, there's a famous cricketer in Australia, Brett Lee, who they also love in India, and he started a music therapy foundation for children who were receiving treatment for cancer. A lot of the kids there had to travel far and wide to receive treatment, and so they didn't have to live on the streets. These families would be in this hospice together, and that was where I was working in this hospice with families to kind of create a home-like setting. And at the time, I didn't speak any Hindi when I got over there. I'd learnt one song that I could sing in Hindi and still remember. But other than that, I guess what it showed was the power of music to communicate, because a lot of the time we just use music to communicate with each other, whether it was through like drumming our emotions together and being able to communicate that, or whether it was through them teaching me Hindi songs, me, yeah, sharing music in that way, sharing their favorite songs and my favorite songs. So that's what I was doing over there. It was a really special time. And about a year before we got together as Tiptoe Giants.
Okay, very, very cool. Now I love travel. I've been to India once. I got
Oh,
to
really?
do one of my bucket list items, which was go see the Taj Mahal. So it's very cool. But
I
no,
think
I
we should
was
do that next time.
yeah, I was curious about if you were able to introduce Tiptoe Giants music in India.
Yeah, it it's definitely played over there. We get to see that in our Spotify, but it wasn't, unfortunately, Tiptoe Giants had not been around when I was in India, but I wouldn't mind going back and sharing our music
We love
if
that.
the chance
Yeah.
ever comes around. Yeah.
So you've been around for 5 years. How's the music scene in Australia for Kindy artists? I've had so many guests from New Zealand and Australia, and I'm just blown away from how much support is given just generally, but even by the government in terms of like grants and things like that to do creative work. I'm kind of jealous actually. But
It's really
how's it been
special.
for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's a really thriving, inclusive community. It's not it doesn't feel competitive. It feels very supportive. Everyone's got each other's back, sharing gear. It's beautiful. Swapping gigs. It's lovely. And it's really special to be part of an industry that's so inclusive and so supportive and so fun.
Yeah, we've definitely had like over the COVID times, it was there were parts that were tricky and gigs were slow then compared to now where it's really ramped up. But even then, we received a grant from the ABC to commission some of our songs that ended up becoming ARIA nominated that year when we released the album. So that helped us be able to make that album with the grant, and that kept us really busy over lockdown because we were actually able to do heaps of recording remotely, and it kept us really engaged with our audience that way as well, which was nice.
Okay, I found in talking to a lot of artists about the pandemic and how they handled it, either they went online or they started recording. I think that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
not much other option, is it?
I know.
But New
Um,
Zealand is actually a really thriving kids' music industry over there, and Australia and New Zealand, the artists have a lovely rapport, and we've done V sang some beautiful harmonies on Michael Bush's album, and yeah, it's lovely. It's really, even across the pond, good friends.
Awesome. All right. You ready to talk about your song?
Sure.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
So the featured song is called I Need a Squeeze When I'm Under Pressure. So what inspired you to write this song?
Well, I Need a Squeeze is a single from our upcoming album, which the album's called Small But Mighty. So far, our albums have been really mixed bags of just fun, eclectic songs, all serving different purposes. This time, we really wanted to give more direct focus to our album, and it's got its aim is to be like a toolkit of songs for parents, children, therapists, and teachers. They're all very useful, but still very fun and engaging for everyone. There's also a strong focus on supporting neurodiverse children and neurodiverse families. And I Need a Squeeze is one of those songs with that particular focus. Bea, do you want to talk more about it?
Yeah, so I guess when we refer to a squeeze, it can be it often in a therapy kind of context is deep pressure to help kids feel grounded and to help self-regulate, help calm, reduce anxiety. But we also see this in, just typical home settings where a kid needs a hug, or at school where they need that squeeze to just help them feel connected again, have that deep pressure on their body. My kids love squeezes for when they've got growing pains at night, so they get, leg massages that we call squeezes. So it is this song that can be used in lots of different settings, but it really is to talk about that deep pressure, the self-regulation, the proprioceptive input that we're providing. And we were hoping, I guess I hadn't come across a song like this being a music therapist and knowing that this is an area that kids, we use weighted blankets, we use deep pressure in therapy settings. And I hadn't come across a song that actually, sang about this. So we thought it would be a really cool idea to, bring a song to life that might help kids. And in our album, we've had kids sing on our album with us, neurodiverse kids, and some of those have even started using this song already, and non-verbal children who are humming the little do 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 do, which is I need a squeeze, please. They've started humming it to their parents to let them know when they need a squeeze, when they need that deep pressure for self-regulation. So we feel like it's already doing its job just with the few kids who have heard it so far.
Love it. No, it's a great song. But before we play it, anything else you want to say about your upcoming album? I know you've been working really hard on getting that ready.
We're really excited about this album. We've been working very closely with producer Michael McGlynn, and we are just so proud of all the songs. They are, even though they're all got this very intentional, purpose-driven focus, they are all so different, so exciting. We cover emotional regulation, we cover healthy habits, self-worth, diversity and inclusion, road safety. There's an 11-minute sleep induction musical meditation, and we're just really excited.
We are. Yeah.
Everyone, please listen. It's going to be called Small But Mighty, and it's going to be released in September.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's check out this song. Here is I Need a Squeeze When I'm Under Pressure by Tiptoe Giants.
I need a squeeze, please.
Sometimes my body feels all wobbly. Sometimes my hands have plans of their own. When it's noisy or flashy, when my clothes feel itchy, scratchy, and my legs, yeah, they feel like a bag of bones. My body's feeling fuzzy and I think I might need a squeeze to make me feel alright. When I'm under pressure, I need some pressure. I need a squeeze. Wrap me in your arms Sometimes sharing our feelings is tricky. Sometimes it's hard to find the words to say. When it's bright or busy, when it feels so icky sticky, I could curl up in a ball or run away. I know when these feelings come from inside me, it helps to have your arms wrapped around me. My body's feeling fuzzy and I think I might need a squeeze to make me feel alright. When I'm under pressure, I need some pressure. I need a squeeze. Wrap me in your arms, please. A squeeze. I need a squeeze to make me feel alright. When I'm under pressure, I need some pressure. I need a squeeze. Wrap me in your arms, please. A squeeze. I need a squeeze.
And I'll tell you when to stop.
And that was I Need a Squeeze When I'm Under Pressure. All right, let everybody know where they're going to be able to find, stream, download, purchase that song, where they can find your music generally, and your website.
I Need a Squeeze will be released for download, streaming, and purchase on all music streaming platforms from August the 12th. You can find us at Tiptoe Giants on Instagram and www.tiptoegiants.com, where you can subscribe to our mailing list, shop our merch, and send us an email, book us for a gig.
Yeah, or you can follow us on our Instagram or Facebook. We often put little activities on there, or you'll find helpful little
tips, games.
Yeah. So please follow us on there as well. And yeah, you can find our music on Spotify, and we've got videos on YouTube as well that you can watch. Apple Music, all of the places where you listen to music.
Excellent. All right, and I love that this is going to be a sneak preview before it's released.
Yes.
We love that too. Yay.
All right, so one last question. What is in store for the rest of 2022 for Tiptoe Giants?
We have finally got lots of gigs planned. We are busy right across the east coast of Australia. This weekend we're heading to Byron Bay. The following weekend we'll be in Brisbane. We're doing a lovely series of shows performing at the Source Kids Disability Expos across the nation, which is really special performances for us. We really get to engage with kids and families and therapists, and it is a real gift to see how much joy our music can bring these families. We are also working on our next album, which will be album number 4, and we are planning a theatre show and a podcast. So we're very busy bees.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on the show, and all the best to Meg, who couldn't make it, but Tiptoe Giants, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
You too. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks so much for having us, Patrick.
All right. Take care.